is Stella and I play in Warpaint. The first band that inspired me as a 13-year-old girl to play drums was Hanson. And I won't lie about that, loud and proud. After that I kind of listened to a lot of weird yacht rock, like Steely Dan and Doobie Brothers, and a lot of the band, Led Zeppelin, stuff like that. A lot of soul. My parents listened to a lot of soul, so Marvin Gaye and Aretha. And yeah, kind of developed into lots of other eclectic styles of music.
Do you remember that was the first band that you really loved?
Residential Joshua Tree. But a lot of space and stuff, and most of the songs that we developed together came from that period of time. And there was a weekend where everybody except for me went back to LA to hang out and just get some R&R. And I decided that what better way to get rest than stay in the desert with a full recording studio and everything. So I just did that, and after a while, actually, strangely enough, I just remembered that I read this book called The War of Art. Have you read that?
No.
It's kind of like a self-help book, but it's actually really quite, they're supposed to be inspiring, but it's not very cheesy, surprisingly. And it's all about how we all have resistance to the things that we're actually supposed to do. So if we want to write a novel or something, then we're going to wake up every morning with anxiety over that's ultimately what I should be doing and what my passion is, but you make millions of distractions the most important thing. And I just finished reading that book one of the nights that I was there by myself, and just instead of going to watch episodes of Ali G in my room, I decided to write a song. So.
But that's not on the album, and last time around you were doing Jubilee, and that's never been released. Is there any plan to kind of do an EP or a B-sides or a rarities or just...
Yeah, there was talk of doing an EP of just the several different versions of Jubilee that we've recorded, and it has been recorded a few times. No Way Out, maybe less so. I think that song, I think it's nice to have songs that have a life of their own that don't exist within the framework of an album, because neither of those really necessarily fit into the aesthetic of the last record that we released. And it's fun to have a song that's just that moment that people remember of hearing it, and that song only exists in that context, and you can't go home and go, oh, I love that track, put it on in my car or whatever. It's like when you wake up from a dream and you've heard a piece of music in your sleep, and then it slowly diminishes over time. It's kind of, I think that's a nice experience. It's totally unintentional that we did that, but I'm trying to romanticise it.
Do you ever think you'd maybe record almost like a cover album of your own music, maybe somewhere down the line?
Yeah, I think that we've talked about doing either a live album or an acoustic album, and we just talk about a lot of things all the time, a lot of options and things that we want to be doing. But right now, I think the onus is on speeding up our process, being a little more prolific, and being able to do a record where we all play a piece on the piano, or we release that Jubilee record or something, like just having those options but actually not talking about them as much, and starting to do all the things that we want to do before, whatever.
When I went to see you play at the Ritz, you played Elephants, you did a jam afterwards. I was just wondering how often, do the jams come about naturally, or are there certain songs you prefer working on? Because I know as well, I saw a live session you did for Love Is To Die, and that's got an extended outro. Was that intended to go on the record, or was that developed after it was recorded?
Originally that part was part of the song.
Right.
And then when Nigel Godrich mixed that song, he cut out the
right.
end, and we were all like, whoa! But then it makes sense, and it's something that we thought about it. At first it was quite alarming, and we didn't expect that was going to happen. And then once we settled into the idea, got used to it, it was fun to add this other element to that. Yeah. The Elephants Jam is just a thing that we do now always.
Yeah.
And always kind of changes on a monthly basis, and it obviously changes night to night.
Yeah.
Just naturally there's things that happen, things that go wrong that other people have to pick up the pieces of, and it's just something fun for us to be able to kind of float off
a little bit
the
to
grid.
think about things you've seen you really like. Have there been any support acts that really caught your eye that you've been playing with?
Yeah, All We Are. who are playing with us tonight and who've been on the tour and will continue to play with us throughout the European tour as well. Have you seen them?
No, I haven't.
I'm really excited for you because they're really good.
Okay.
They're awesome. And we were lucky enough a few years ago to play with Conor Moccasin. He's made such a name for himself now. He's massive in France and all over Europe. And in terms of just support bands or just bands in general?
Just bands in general. I guess LA bands as well.
Well, my friends who play with Kate LeBon, do you know her?
Yeah. I think she played the other day,
Yeah,
didn't she?
and, my friend went to see us and she was fantastic.
Yeah, she's amazing. And luckily she's agreed to tour with us in America. Her last record is probably my favourite record of last year. I think it's beautiful. And her live show is out of control. Yeah.
I took someone to see you for their first gig, and I was just wondering what was your first gig?
Their first gig?
Yeah, their first gig.
Who was it?
It was my ex-girlfriend at the time. It was so I took her there, but for her first gig, and she really enjoyed it. Like, what I was wondering, what was your first gig?
I know my parents took me to see Peter Gabriel when I was really, really young. I was on the So tour, but I don't remember anything about that. So I would have to say my first show was either Alanis Morissette when I was 9, or around 9.5, 10, I can't remember which year it was, I saw Michael Jackson.
Those are some good first gigs.
Pretty damn good.
I just thought of one last thing.
Sure.
When's the documentary coming out?
There's no set date at the moment. Yeah, it's kind of in the process and there's always things being added, so it's hard to say when we stop filming, or when Chris stops filming or when he feels satisfied enough to release something, but we're both, he's really busy doing his own stuff as well, and it's just a matter of feeling like everyone has everything that they need and there's a vision that's being satisfied, so indetermined.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks so much.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers.